What's good, y'all? It's Monday. I'm Comic Man Andy. It's great to be back in front of the mic. Happy to see each and every one of you. Mail Call Money with Comic Man Andy. And we've got a package. Let's do this thing. Yes, it's Monday. So glad to be here. William Smallwood, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by, checking out the video. I got one package here today, and it is in addition to my Something is Killing the Children collection. So I'm really happy to have this in, and I can share this with you guys. DJ Links, thanks for stopping by, man. If you guys don't know DJ Links, you better. You should. Search DJ Links, find his channel, sub him up, and check out his amazing content. He's dropping content almost daily. Awesome stuff. Blue Green Artifacts, thanks for being here. Something's Killing Children. This led me to think about the collection and as I have it sitting right now and how it's going, right? So we'll unbox this here very shortly. In addition to the Something's Killing the Children collection, really excited for this. And I figured this got me thinking, it's like, why not go over my Something's Killing the Children collection and show that off and see where we're at? It's the hottest indie series going on right now, in my opinion, like actively putting books out. And it's been a ton of fun. So I'm going to open this up, and then we're going to go over these books, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I hope we all are doing well this Monday. The day is over. For some of us, grab a frosty cold beverage, throw a piggies out, and celebrate the fact that this Monday is coming to an end. We're going to make it suck as little as possible with some unboxings. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Zuni, man, good to see you. Like I said, here he is, DJ Links. Sub him up, check out his content almost daily. Some fire content he's dropping, some awesome unboxings, mystery boxes, some grails he's been able to get. Excellent production values, excellent editing. You guys are going to love his stuff if you haven't checked him out. Sub him up and check him out. Zuni, yes, thank you for being here. Come on, Mama. Great to see you. Happy Monday. So glad to be able to spend some time with you guys and unwind. And here he is, the great Herminio Reyes Jr. What's good, man? Ruben, thanks for being here, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ooh, DJ Links ordered the trade today. So I've been reading it issue to issue, and I think this is going to be a series that I'm going to want to get. Not just in trade, but I think I'm going to look for, hopefully they do some sort of a larger hardcover. That'd be really cool. You hope Boom starts to release deluxe. Yeah, okay, here we go. Deluxe format hardcovers. Yes. I would definitely like to see that. So let me dig into this really quick. It's a small package for a Monday mail call. There's not a lot in here, but it carries a pretty decent punch in my opinion. And I kind of ordered this. This was a knee-jerk reaction order because I saw the price and I was like, that's too cheap to be for real. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? If I don't get it or if it gets canceled, some retailers have done that on hot series is they'll actually cancel your orders. I've seen that happen to some people. It's unfortunate, incredibly unfortunate. This order did not get canceled. It did arrive in a fairly timely fashion, and I was not paying attention to where I was ordering from, actually. So this came from overseas. We got a couple of books. Packaging's not too bad. Standard Gemini mailer. No other protection in there. But I've ordered from this retailer before I knew I was getting into, and I've got, not much more than cover price into these books. And there's a little more tape here. It's half the fun of Mondays is struggling through some packages, right? And you guys get a little bit of a laugh at my expense, maybe. Because how did they even package these, actually? No pull tabs. And let's see if I can do this without cutting anything. And how the hell did these get stuck together? Okay, boom. All right, nothing too crazy, but a couple. Here's one foil copy of number 1, and I think $4. And the condition is looking spot on. So I didn't realize that the foil copy that they were releasing of Something is Killing the Children was a local comic shop day. And the first time I ran into it, I saw it online and I kind of just added them to cart and paid for them right away, not thinking that I ordered from Europe. Shipping wasn't too bad. I don't have a lot of money into them. And so it's 2 copies of the foil cover of number 1 of Something's Killing the Children. Let me talk about this for a minute, right? Something's Killing the Children has been hot, red hot, lava, liquid, red hot. I mean, extra printings of the books are going crazy. Number 1 has been doing really well. So my thought process was, if I couldn't get one from my local shop, let me at least get 1 or 2 on order to make sure I have 1 or 2 for the collection. And I'm always the type of person that's going to order a couple of copies if I can get them really cheap. Why? Sometimes damages happen in shipping, and I'm looking for at least 1 to go to CGC, possibly get a 9.8. That's kind of the hope right now. Which is, with as hot as Something is Killing the Children is, the book went from essentially cover price at local comic shop day and ordering online to, I think I've seen CGC 9.8 Canada or CGC 9.8s, the actual 9.8s pre-sales or whatever they're doing. I think people are asking about 80 online for them, and I don't know what the raw cover is going for right now at the moment. But with what's happening with this series, with as hot as it is speculation wise, I see this foil cover. If the print run isn't super high, I see it hitting $30 to $40 over time. I don't think it's there now. In fact, I was a little short on time. I was hoping to look up some of the prices and see what current asking prices are for this book. And Shadow's kind of killing it. But the foils are gorgeous. It's fun to have. And like I said, I was backing up the fact that whether or not, I wasn't sure if I could get one for my LCS. I was actually able to get one for my LCS, thankfully. And that one is also in fantastic condition. So now I've got 3 shots at getting a 9.8 if I want to send these 3 in. If the prices are going to stay low on this, I might just outright buy a 9.8 if I can find one for as low as possible. I mean, not looking to score that for hundreds of dollars, because I've got 3 here that if I can set it off, if it just keeps skyrocketing. Yeah, they're not super spendy yet, Blue Green says. StreamYard's just catching up. Yes, thanks. Good to see you too, man. I haven't seen you in a little while. I've been awfully busy. Glad to make some time to sit down. Come on, Mama. You missed the LCS copies. Ooh. I have to do something about that. We'll figure something out here. Flicks and Comics. Hey, JoJo. Good to see you. Another great YouTuber that I'm working on catching up on content. A lot of great shows from you. Comics for Cheap. Hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So, yeah, I've got 3 copies of that foil now. Building that collection. Now, why is what I'm doing here today important to me, and why is it important to you if you guys are sitting watching right now? Thank you all 70 for hanging out and talking at the moment. Something's Killing the Children is one of those series that I first discovered through Simpleman's Comics quite a while ago. I don't remember how long ago. I think we're at issue 14 or 15, so over a year ago. It hit the previews, and we started talking about it in the Patreon group chat, the private group chat for the Simpleman's Comics Patreon family. And it just sounded like a really fun premise. It sounded like a really fun story, different, out there, kind of horror, kind of adventure, and a strong female lead character is almost an underserviced area of comics. And anything that comes out that's got a strong female lead in it, I'm interested in, because I like to see where they're going with this. I like to see how badass these characters can get and where they're going to take them. It's a pretty fun adventure. So I started right off the bat when we were talking about it. I went into my LCS and I'm like, hey, look, this is coming out. I'm not sure if it's what I'm really going to want to collect or if it's going to be something I'm going to want to read continuously, but let's add it to my pull list. And I went all covers, all copies, all printings. I don't let myself do this very often with comic books in general, because completionist collector is something that's hard to maintain when you're doing 3 or 4 different series or different continuous runs, especially with the store exclusives. It's a nightmare. Ryan from Rhino's Comics will know wholeheartedly what I'm saying is it's near impossible to keep up as a completionist collector with some titles when you're working on store variants. I digress. that's a whole another topic for another time. C3 Comics, good to see you, man. Here's another great YouTuber that I'm working on catching up on their content. Like I said, I add all you guys to my watch later list, and then when I can make some time to sit down and watch the content and absorb it, it's great talking points, great topics. I love your haul videos, man. Thanks for being here. I think it was. I'm really enjoying the story. I'm sticking with it, and just somehow it's like all aboard that Something's Killing the Children train, because the thing's not only did it take off, it's still going and it's still catching steam and it's still riding high. And has there been any sort of announcement for shows, movies, anything? I think I heard something about Netflix picking it up, but I don't know if there's factual evidence on it. I haven't been able to keep my ear to the pipeline on that, so to speak. But I'm just going to go over the first couple of issues here because it's been awesome. One thing that I think was overlooked when it first came out, because the series, people didn't quite know where that barometer was going to land with this series or how things were going to happen. There's a comic shop over in Detroit, Michigan, and I'm really happy I was able to grab one of these because one of the Patreon members that we were talking to at the time was actually a regular at this comic book shop and spoke with them about, hey, what do you guys think about doing a foil variant? Wow. Now this is the original foil variant to number 1. That Frizzen. This, I don't know what it's limited to. I think it was like a $30 book when it first hit. And I was like, I don't want to pay $30 for a cover. I don't know. And the guys are like, you really should, if you're going to collect this as a completionist collector. I'm like, all right, let me get one. The thing showed up from Sanctum Sanatorum Comics in Detroit in a top loader, decked to the nines as far as protection goes. And I think the last asking price, I don't know about sales, the last asking price of this in a 9.8 I saw was in that neighborhood of like $600 or $700. Somebody was asking for one of these at 9.8. Really interested to find out how many of these they actually made. I can't remember. I'll have to message my friend, see where they're at with that. And I was lucky enough to score the original from my LCS when that came in. So all covers, all copies, all printings. I was able to grab that. Super, super cool. And what else do we have? Oh, yeah, cover A. This is definitely staying in a top loader, 9.8 candidate. I want to send it out. In fact, it was on my list of my last show that I did last fall, actually, of what I was going to send to CGC. You get busy, you fall behind, and then all of a sudden the holidays hit, and it's like, well, I don't want to pack up a bunch of stuff and ship it in the holiday rush and have it possibly get lost or damaged in the holiday rush. So let me wait. Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, here we are midway through January. Still haven't packed things up to send to CGC. My collecting goals have changed a little bit, but I definitely need to get a couple of packages out. This is going to be in a package to go to CGC here soon, I hope, if I can make time. And then I have a package that needs to go to Jimmy, the Geek Aficionado, for a bunch of books that I want to CPR to send to CGC. So, as a completionist collector, how do you keep up with it? I don't know. It's tough because eventually, at some point, when the book picks up speed and it gains attention, the store variants start hitting. Then the ratio variants are definitely a thing started as of last year for indie books. I didn't know that we were going to see ratio variants in indies. I wasn't paying attention to that before if it was happening. And then when I really started to pay attention to it, I was like, my wallet started to cry. Because those ratio variants for hot indies are not cheap by any means. And LCSs are keen to it. And they're charging eBay prices sometimes. Thankfully, I was able to get some of them where I thought they should be price-wise. But before that took place, there's still a couple other copies that I was able to get at cover price. This is the Jay Lee. I can't quite remember. I was running short on time. I had a lot of reading that I wanted to do as far as educational reading to bring myself back up to speed with this collection when I was picking them up. I can't quite remember some of the artists because some of these have been sitting in the short box for a little while now. And then another printing of number 1. That one I think was getting kind of hot. I think all the extra printings number 1 are getting kind of hot. Downright Nerdy Podcast. Thanks for being here. There were only 300 of the foils done. Ooh. that brings it into perspective now. Only 300 of those foil variants done. So if I'm able to get that back at a 9.8, that is definitely a book to hold on to long term if the show does come to fruition and it's done very well. That's going to be a book that I'm not going to be able to let go of. Then I love the color, the way they use the colors on this printing. I don't know if this is the third. I don't know if it goes first, second, then third print. This might be the third or the fourth print. That yellowish orangish is actually really dope. And then this is the one. I think this is the fourth or the fifth print. This is the one that actually a good buddy of mine, Skeff's Comic Knowledge, is after. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this collection. If I'm going to have them all graded, or if I'm going to leave them run, keep them for the long run. I haven't quite decided. I'm definitely not reading these. None of these extra printings have been opened up at all. I actually got the book on digital as well, so I didn't have to read any of my raw copies. I think this one recently has been catching a lot of heat in high grade. And this one actually caught some heat. This must be the 6th print. This one caught a fair bit of heat a while ago, and it hasn't come back down. I can't remember, but I think I saw a 9.8 that was currently at auction for quite a bit more than I was thinking it would ever go to. This is pretty impactful, in my opinion, with that cover. Bloody footprints, the big bloody knife in the ground. There's not a character in sight from this story. Yet they spoke volumes about what's happening currently. And what's about to happen, actually. I just love the white ground, the white snowy ground looking area with all the bloody footprints. Very contrasting, or it contrasts well. Sticks out quite a bit. Check out Ross Ritchie's. Yes, I have been seeing that. And a couple of them, there was one that he was like, this is like the rarest one. And I want to say it was like a 1 in 25 from number 12 or number 13 or something like that. And I definitely checked the short box and I didn't get that. And I'll go into why I'm still missing some issues. Yeah, surprisingly, Skeff doesn't have that one. I'm actually stunned that he doesn't have that one. And when he mentioned he was looking for it, I hit a bunch of them on eBay to watch to see where they go. Because that one, I'm not sure where that's going to end up going. It's just probably super low print run on a hot title that a lot of people are interested in. Warlord, great to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Almost reminds you of 30 Days a Night a little. I could see that. I could definitely see that. You only had a few of those, but had the one that sold for 80, I believe. Oh, interesting. Yes, come on, Mama. Keep your eye out. I doubt this is something we're going to find dinging around in bins a whole lot, but if you go to certain LCSs that aren't well-traveled, that are kind of out there on the fringes, maybe you can find some stuff sitting around. That's happened. That's definitely a possibility. DJ Links, thanks for being here. Once again, if you guys haven't subscribed to him, do so. Almost daily content, excellent editing, great videos, sweet unboxings. Check out DJ Links. If he doesn't hit 1,000 subscribers here and soon, I'd be shocked. In fact, try to push him up over 700. I think he's like 656 or something like that. The content's too good to not get people out there watching it. It's great stuff, man. Speaking of amazing content, don't forget JoJo Flicks and Comics. Awesome content every time. Great to see you. And then moving on the prints, for the life of me, I'm going to actually have to open this one up. This was one of those, I think it was a ratio variant that my LCS grabbed, that I grabbed from them, I should say. And it's unlocked retailer variant of number 2. So I kind of had the books out of order, but I grabbed this and I'm like, I don't know if this is really, I think it was about number 2 when these variants started to hit and I started having to grab more and more and I was spending more and more. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with this. Really, the hook for me was probably issue 3 or issue 4. And I really started to get hooked in. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going along for the ride. I'm really digging this series. Let's see, what else do we have here? Then the different printings. Number 2, cover A. I think I've seen this. Asking prices for this in the $50 to $60 range. I think 55 was the last one I looked at today on eBay. Issue 3 second print for $660. Excuse me? Dreadnoks for life. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for dropping that hot knowledge, because I hadn't gone that far down the rabbit hole just yet. In fact, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go check to see if I have the issue 3 second print, because it was after issue 2, and I'll get into this. After these 2 issues here, I think this is second printing. I'm going to check really quick. Second print. Yep. That's the second print, which means if that's the unlocked retailer, the green one that I had, then this one here should be third print. Yep. Third print for number 2. Man, super cool. Camera does not do this one justice at all. Oh, I don't know, man. This could, it's a fickle thing that it could crash and be worth less than cover price in less than a year, though. You never know. And I could drop all of these things and crunch the corners, and then they could be worthless. The cover, oh, I don't have that one. I don't think I have that one, because when I first caught attention, or I first saw attention on that book, was from Andy from CBSI's Indie Spotlight on his Instagram. He said, hey, this book is rising. And I'm like, oh, look, I better, if I'm really going to grab that, I got to grab that while it's 20 or 30 bucks or something like that. I look in the box and I'm like, oh, I don't see it. Okay, let me add that to the list. Forgot about it for months. And then $660 on eBay last night. Was that for a raw copy? Oof, nuts. It's just crazy. Cover with her on the bathtub. It's a dope cover. Bathtub full of blood. Buy a whole, yeah, you gotta buy a little house, maybe. So $660 was for the 9.8. Wow. $660 was for the 9.8. Come on, StreamYard, catch up. So this is where things got a little tricky for me. The LCS, like I said, all covers, all copies, all printings, add me to them, order everything. Something happened. There was a miscommunication. I'm not sure what happened. And it started with issue 3 and that second print. I was getting cover A's, but somehow they weren't shipping the extra printings to my LCS as they were coming out. I swear my LCS orders them. They are too damn good on everything else that they do for them to not order something. It'd be crazy if there was some sort of miscommunication on their part, because they've hit the nail on the head every time when it comes to ordering. But something happened and those extra printings didn't come in and I didn't receive them. Am I upset? No. I can trade my way to those things if it gets too crazy. But either way, to get, like Dreadnoks is saying, $660 for that 9.8, to be able to pay $399 minus 20% discount and get that back in a 9.8, and that thing skyrockets to $600 or $700. That's nuts. So not only did I miss that issue, but on issue 3, the extra printings, I wasn't getting a couple of those. And then all of a sudden, the title started to get a lot hotter. It got a lot busier. People were really catching on and really running with this title and really reading it and really enjoying it. I'm like, all right, kind of reaffirms my thought process. Like, I think I'm going to like this. I think it's a great idea. I think they're going to do well with it. It's Tinian. I mean, let me hop on. And I did. And I'm glad I did. And for anybody that hasn't, man, if you're a single issue completionist collector like me, you've got a major mountain ahead of you. It's not going to be easy. You can flip your way there. You can get there at some point. But for anybody that's really interested in the story, grab those trades. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a really good read. So when those challenges happened with the extra printings and I hadn't been getting those, something changed, and all of a sudden everything that was being released was hitting my pull box. Everything for this series was hitting my pull box. I had weeks of New Comic Book Day Wednesday where I'm sitting down getting ready to do the show and hang out with you guys and talk comic books, where all of a sudden I'm spending way more than I thought I was, and now I'm buying ratio variants. There was a 1 in 100 for issue 12, I think. And I sat there to myself and I'm like, I beat myself up over this. I'm like, don't spend this money on this book. You might grow tired of it and you might not want it. And it might just modern indies ratio variance. Ooh, how is that game going to unfold? How that you're going to spend $100 on a book, then have it be worth 40 in 2 weeks, maybe? I don't know. I still grabbed stuff. Thankfully, this series is still holding firm and still climbing. I'm wondering what's going to happen with those later issues 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and all the ratio variants and those extra printings, because the store variants are hot. Like, super, super cool covers. I found myself this morning adding some to a cart and then backing off, and I'm like, don't spend the money right now. I've got a lot of goals that I want to hit this year with the collection, and I didn't want to spend that money. But the store variants, you guys go out there and look. The covers are amazing. The prices are about what you would think for a store variant or exclusive variant or something like that. I digress. That's a really long conversation. But those are the few books that I have from 1 through 2, and then everything else thereafter was pretty much cover A and the extra printings, and then the ratios as they were hitting. Those I have sitting back here as well. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this collection. Do I start grading everything now at this point? Or do I keep it raw? That's what she said. Either way, it's Monday. Raise a glass, throw pinkies out, toast to the fact that the day's almost done for most of you, and some of us, the day really is done. And enjoy a super sweet comic book, a super sweet read. Thank you to the Simpleman's Comics Patreon group and the Simpleman's Comics group for really highlighting some stuff that they highlighted it because they thought people were going to like it, right? And good Lord, did the series take off. And if Netflix is the one picking up the series for a show, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a really fun show. The jury's out to see what happens in the long run. But it's time to start digging in and looking at print runs. Got to look at the print runs and find out where things are at with this. Blue Green Artifacts. He thinks the series is going to be huge. I think series really depend on the directors and the casting. I think you can take a book that's completely on fire and super scorching hot on the secondary market, and I think you can totally ruin it with not so great directing and not so great acting. And then all of a sudden the book will all of a sudden the book could cool off and tank. It could tank, or it could just cool off, or it could plateau. Either way, it's one of those things where it's kind of fickle, right? It's kind of, who knows what's going to happen. And I feel like we've seen dumpster fire books that weren't great skyrocket and take off because of amazing directing and amazing acting. So I really think that's kind of where those cards are going to fall. What they do with that could have a huge impact. Mike, great to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. It's Monday. We survived. We got through it. We got to talk about some comic books. C3 Comics. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Mike was saying, fun read, good live stream. Thanks, man. I always enjoy hanging out on live streams, being able to talk to people. And I've rambled for 30 minutes here, just shooting back and forth. This shows how long it's been since I've kind of been able to make time for myself and make time to spend with you guys to talk comic books, to talk about something near and dear to my heart and something fun, great stories, great reads, great entertainment. In fact, I think at some point I want to sit down and start drumming up like a weekly hangout show that's talking about indie reads and speculation on indie reads to a degree. It's something I'm passionate about, and speculation is always fun to talk about because I love it when I'm wrong, because I learn a lot, and then my wallet loves it when I'm right. But does it? Because I never sell anything. Black hole collecting, man. I tell you what. K Dwang, hey, thanks for being here. I miss Thursday nights as well. The work schedule just isn't able to. I'm not able to make Thursday nights happen with my work schedule. I'm hoping to find a solid night to do some sort of like indie speculation read where I can get together with Andy Tomberlin and some of those other great indie guys and talk about just indie comic books. I love comic books in general. I love talking about comic books, but I'm really passionate about indies because I feel like that's where some of the greatest stories come from right now. And they really, get out into the farther reaches of what can be good reads. And then sometimes they're not so great, but still the journey. It's about the journey, right? Sometimes it works, more often than not. Sometimes it doesn't work, more often than not, it does. And I feel like it's really interesting going down that rabbit hole, taking that journey. Ooh, this is your favorite book right now. Something's Killing the Children. I feel like a lot of people would say something similar and they would agree with you wholeheartedly. Ooh, yeah, this would be cool. I gotta formulate something. I gotta come up with some kind of a plan. Something where it's a live stream, unscripted, and it's just kind of like off the cuff, interacting with you guys and talking about speculation without being 4 or 5 hours or without being 10, 15 minutes. Something half an hour to an hour with a lot of great people hanging out, talking comic books. Made the mistake of actually reading a book yesterday. Now I don't want to sell them. Yes, that's the problem. It's just they kind of attach themselves to your soul a little bit, kind of attach themselves to you. Pinky's Out podcast, Ken. Great to see you, man. Hopefully here soon we can get together and we can do another Pinky's Out podcast. AnchorFM.com for our first 5 or 6 episodes there. Pinky's Out podcast. It's a crazy, crazy time to sit down with 2 great friends, drink beer, talk beer, and see what the outcome is and what happens after a handful of high gravity beers. Hey, do I plan on going to any cons this year? Yes. We're waiting to see how things shake out, but definitely we are budgeting for cons and we're saving $20 here, $10 there. We're putting money into envelopes, setting things aside to get those tickets and make for some traveling expenses or traveling plans or whatnot. Hopefully we can get to the area and hit up 2 or 3 conventions. Really, I know they pushed C2E2 back to way later in the year. Definitely not missing out on that if that's going to be a thing. I know that for sure. That C2E2 is too close to miss out on. It's just a matter of what's going to play out and what's going to happen. The Detroit Comic-Con, Motor City Comic-Con, if they're able to do that this year, I'd definitely travel for that one. Baltimore's definitely up in the air, though. Baltimore is one of those things where I want to go every year, and it's just a matter of budgeting correctly. But Baltimore last year didn't play out, and this year we'll see what happens. But yeah, Baltimore, C2E2, and the Motor City Comic-Con are the 3 that I'd really like to make solid plans for, save up and budget. Heyo. Hello, mother. Good to see you. I will call soon. Don't fret. I will call soon. It's been busy, man. It's been really busy. Yep. Hey, Andy's mom. Yes, December. December was C2E2 they pushed back to, which is going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. Can you imagine going to one of the largest comic book conventions in the country right before the holiday season? Could be quite different. They did the same thing with MegaCon. Yeah. Yep. MegaCon was one that I was preparing to go for and is actually so close to booking a hotel and a flight, and it didn't pan out. It didn't work out. But yeah, things will work out this year. Things will happen. We'll all be the better for it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Love this connective tissue talking about comic books, talking about an amazing story that is literally just smoking red hot right now. Something's Killing the Children. In fact, I'm going to sit down, pull up Comixology, and I'm going to read from number 1 again. See how it reads more like as a trade than the single issues. Might add a lot more value to it for me. But thank you again, everybody, for hanging out. Mail Call Mondays. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to find everybody, sub everybody up, and check out everybody's content. Tons of great stuff because we're all individual. We're all different. Our opinions differ. The content that we make differs. Therefore, new ideas, new thoughts, new debates, new challenges. It's all good stuff. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go pinkies out. Catch y'all on the flip side for the next video. The most important part, all day and every day.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.